there's a new update when it comes to Onyx. And what do I think about it, even though nothing I say is financial advice? Well, first of all, Onyx not too long ago posted how the bridge between the Goliath testnet and Ethereum's Apolia testnet, right, is now live. Now, people may be thinking, okay, well, who cares about this? Well, we have to take this into context. Goliath, which is their layer one blockchain, the thing is, it's still in the testnet phase. But the thing is, we take a look at this update right here. I think it's pretty cool considering how Ethereum is a massive layer one blockchain. Goliath, keep in mind, I don't think is ever going to become as massive as that, or even 10% of that. But I'm just saying, I think that this is pretty cool nonetheless, because keep in mind, not a lot of people out there really asked for a layer one blockchain when it comes to Onyx in terms of Goliath. Like, no one really cared about it, I feel like, at least personally to me. But then they put that effort nonetheless. I do like seeing that, because they didn't necessarily have to do it, but then they did it anyways. Because, for instance, we take a look at not too long ago. Back in early 2025, we saw that rally when it comes to XCN. Now, of course, there's been a pullback ever since then, but I'm saying we saw that. But was the Goliath testnet existent back then? No, it was not, because it was launched not too long ago. The thing is, XCN did that without this testnet. So when people like to say, oh, it's kind of useless, no one's really going to care about it. However, I feel like if XCN had that rally not too long ago without the Goliath testnet, what would it have done if there was the testnet back then? That's just my perspective. But even besides that point, I'm totally aware that even despite the pretty okay recovery that I saw in the past 24 hours when it comes to XCN, 25 cents, I mean, XCN is still around 47 times lower than that. I mean, it's still not doing that good in the grand scheme of things, actually. But in the meantime, though, I like seeing this update because it showcases that, first of all, Onyx still cares about Goliath. They still care about their layer one blockchain. Not to mention, when it comes to what they're trying to do with it, I feel like it seems to be a little bit on track in terms of when they're planning to launch the mainnet when it comes to it, which is supposedly going to be in Q1 of 2026. So we're almost in 2026, but I'll have to wait and see when it comes to Q1. But if I'm seeing stuff like this when it comes to their layer one blockchain in terms of the testnet right now, it just gives me a little bit more, I think, I would say, energy, right? In terms of at least looking forward to maybe what the mainnet could be, but only time will tell. Now, people like to say, why would anyone care about Onyx if there's already something like Stellar, if there's already something like XDC and all this? Why would anyone even care about this? It's just another project within this space. Well, first of all, my point of view is that if Onyx doesn't even try, how would they ever know? You know what I mean? If The Rock, right, Dwayne Johnson, didn't try to become an actor, how would he know that he would be a good actor? That's just my point of view. He had to try that in order to know, right? I mean, that's just my point of view. So when it comes to something like Onyx, if they don't try, how would they know? Now, even besides all that, though, some people may be thinking, why even try if there's already like a massive player when it comes to something like Stellar or XDC? Well, it's because I also don't think it's just only going to be like 3 or 4 projects and then the rest don't really do anything. I feel like sometimes there's space for others as well. It's like, let's say, is Volvo the only car brand out there? No, it's not. But is it doing pretty okay? Hypothetically, I think so. So that's just kind of the way to take a look at it as well when it comes to this situation. Now, granted, though, when it comes to Onyx, is it ever going to become as popular as Volvo? Nah, I don't think so, but that's not the point. My point is just basically saying how I think within the space of global trade and finance, I don't think it's only going to be like a couple of projects and the rest don't really do anything. And also on top of that as well, when it comes to just the idea of their layer one blockchain, people like to say, well, is the adoption really going to be even that good? Well, I think that typically when something gets launched, usually within this space, the adoption may not necessarily be the best in the immediate sense where it just launches and then suddenly the adoption is the best. Yeah, I just don't think so in a lot of cases, actually. However, it's kind of like the thought that counts, right? I mean, at least they're trying to do something. And sometimes when the market does do better, sometimes people do care about stuff like that, right? Sometimes they do take a look back at what a project did when things weren't looking the best. And as of right now, XCN clearly is not doing the best in my perspective. Again, 25 cents. It's still around 47 times lower than that. However, my kind of perception is that when it comes to something like this, what I do want to focus on is more so the fundamentals at a time when the space isn't doing the best. So when I see altcoins not doing the best, when I see some of Onyx not doing the best, I focus on the fundamentals and I focus on the update. And the kind of idea that they're even still making an update to begin with, I think is pretty commendable to me, because other projects out there, what are they really doing? They're not updating at all. In which case, I mean, they probably have their reasons, but in some cases, they probably just gave up, I feel like, or they just don't really care anymore. And they're just probably waiting for, oh, you know, if there's a altcoin season, then we'll update again. Well, that kind of doesn't, I think, sometimes give off the right vibe, right? If, let's say, I'm a captain of a football team, and every single time the other team scores, I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna just chill and not care. It sends not a good kind of vibe. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so every time the other team scores, I'm just having this total kind of shutdown where I don't care about, where I'm having this moment where, oh yeah, you know, the energy is not good anymore. Like, that doesn't give off a good vibe sometimes. You know what I mean? So then this is why I like Onyx, because even when the space isn't doing the best, they're still updating, they're still caring. So I do like seeing that. Now, personally for me, when it comes to Onyx, I don't think it's doing too much, right? I mean, like, for instance, having a layer 1 blockchain, it's not anything that groundbreaking or revolutionary by any means. I mean, so many projects out there have like something that they did, or a lot of projects out there have an aspect of being a layer 1 blockchain. I mean, it doesn't really like mean much in the grand scheme of things, but I think for what Onyx is, for the size of the project, for what it's kind of done so far, I think it is pretty impressive, because I think it's kind of the biggest thing that it could actually do as of late, right? I mean, what could it really do anything beyond that, like within a time frame of a year or 2 years, that could kind of eclipse something like this? I don't think actually there could be too many things that could do that, especially considering kind of the size and recognizability of some of the Onyx. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm just waiting, and that's about it. But in the meantime, I did want to make an updated video, because sometimes you have to tell me, oh, Onyx is not doing much and all this type of stuff. Well, you know, first of all, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so it could actually be more than what they're actually posting. But also on top of that, when it comes to this, at least they're still talking about Goliath in terms of, you know, their layer 1 blockchain. A lot of my friends out there thought they kind of gave up when it comes to that, but clearly I don't think they, at least feel like to me, gave up. So yeah, you know, I find that pretty cool, and I find that pretty interesting. And I'm just going to stay patient and just wait as of right now, but that's pretty much about it. But I want to say thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a nice day. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.